Hey there, today we're going to create 3 unique DIY Christmas gnomes. Welcome to Creative by Nature DIY and Decor. My name is Donna. Alright, for our first gnome, I'm going to be using this bottle brush tree. I'm using the Lamax brand, but you can use whichever you'd like. This one's approximately 9 inches tall, and I'll be using a remnant from a sock that I had used for a previous project. I'm cutting the sock down to make sure that it is going to fit over our bottle brush tree. So I'll be using this sock as the hat, and I am just rolling up the rim, and then I will be gluing it all into place, and this will prevent the edge from fraying and also give it a more authentic look for a hat. Next, I'll be using this faux fur for the beard. I got this from a store called Dollarama here in Canada, but you can find faux fur at other craft stores as well as thrift stores. You could also take apart some jackets or an old stocking. I am just cutting the piece down, and then I am going to measure to make sure I have the right length and trim it as needed. So now I'm giving my faux fur a beard shape by trimming it, and I like to cut into the base. That way here you're not trimming away all the fibers. If you're new to my channel, I want to say welcome, and I'd love for you to join my community by tapping on the subscribe button along with the bell to keep up to date with everything I have to share. So once you have the desired shape and size, you can then add some hot glue and place the beard onto the bottle brush tree. I roll up the hat and then put the beard into place. Now I am just going to pull the hat down into place and start to assemble the rest of the gnome. So I do need to glue the hat down so it doesn't move around. So I'm just adding a bead of glue to the back and onto the sides, but I don't glue to the beard at this time. So I'm going to be using pom-pom for the nose. I'm just deciding on the color. You could use a wood bead or you could make your own out of fabric. So I'm just going to add some hot glue and then tuck the gnome just slightly underneath the hat. And now I'm just adding a bit of hot glue on either side of the nose just to put the hat into place. Now to finish off the hat, I am just going to tie the top closed. I am using some jute twine, and then I am going to add just a touch of hot glue that'll help hold everything together. I always like to add a little embellishment to my hats, so I'm using this wood snowflake and I'm just using hot glue to put it into place. And here is our completed gnome. I love this little guy. I think he's just so fun and whimsical, and I think using a bottle brush tree makes it for a very easy project to do. For our next gnome, you're going to need a wine bottle or some other decorative bottle, and you're going to need some fairy lights that have got the cork battery pack. Now I'm just going to place the lights down into the bottle, and I'm using a large skewer to push the lights down to the bottom, as you're not going to see the lights much near the top, so I just want to make sure you have the effect of the lights. So now I'm going to be using some felt to create the hat, and I just fold it into a cone shape, And then using some hot glue, I am going to glue the edges together to hold that form into place. I will leave my gnome playlist for you down in my description box so you can check out all the different gnomes I have made, as I have lots of different techniques to share on how to make hats as well as beards and different bases you can use. So now I'm just going to start to trim my hat down to size, but first I'm just going to measure to make sure that my hat goes down to where the lip of the bottle is, and then I trim off the remaining bit on the bottom. Again, I'm just measuring to make sure it's the right size, and I really like this one right here. So I have this gorgeous scarf that I found at Dollarama, and I thought it would make the perfect material for a gnome beard. So I'm just going to the back side of the scarf and I'm cutting out a square, and then I'll be cutting it to the shape I need and the length I need for the beard. So here I am just measuring to make sure I have the right length for my beard, and then again you can trim it down as needed. Once you have the right size for your beard, you can then run a bead of glue on the inside of your hat. Make sure it's opposite from the seam of the hat, and then place the furry part into the glue. That part is very important. Here I'm just checking to make sure my beard is working the way I need it to fit over the bottle and the battery pack. I'm just placing this bottle into a little box just for some stability so it doesn't roll around. And now again, I'm using a pom-pom for a nose. And after this here, I ended up actually changing that nose out for a larger one. But use whatever size you'd like. I'm adding a wood embellishment again to the hat, and there you have a super fun and whimsical light up bottle gnome. Here I'm just showing you how you can easily remove the hat so you can turn the lights on and off, as well as change out the batteries if needed. All right, for our next gnome, you need a clay pot. This is about a 4-inch, and I am using some whispered chalk paint. It's like an off-white color. I love this chalk paint. I'm going to give this pot 2 coats of the chalk paint, allowing to dry well in between coats. Okay, so once dry, I am now going to add something really fun. I am going to make this into a bell gnome. So I'm going to tie this large bell onto a piece of jute twine, and then I'm going to string the other end up through the hole of the pot. And then I am going to just measure the length I need so the bell hangs nicely on the inside of the pot, tie off a knot, and then glue that knot into place on the whole of the pot as shown. So I'm going to be using this foam cone, and I'm going to glue it to the top part of the pot as shown here. this is a buffalo check scarf that I picked up from the dollar store, and I am going to cut out a square, and then I will be making the hat out of this. So you're just going to be using the same procedures as you did for the felt hat before. So again, I'm going to be using this really nice faux fur that I got from Dollarama. Another option is to use some yarn or some string and fray it so it has a really nice bushy effect. But I happen to have this faux fur, so this is what I'm going to use, and I'm going to just trim it down to size and cut the shape as needed. Again, glue your beard onto the pot and then you can put your hat into place. So this time I'm using a wood ball from my stash. This wood ball doesn't have any holes in it, so it is a great bead to use. Again, using some hot glue, I am going to put it into place. So I have decided that I wanted to add just a little bit of a mustache underneath the beard. So I'm just trimming a little piece of the faux fur and then using hot glue to glue it into place underneath the nose. So I had this bell wood embellishment that I had in my stash. I am going to glue that to the hat. I thought it was so appropriate since this is a bell gnome. And then I just thought, for just something fun and different, I'm going to glue the tip of the hat down, and then I'm going to glue another little bell to the tip of the hat. You could stitch this bell on as well if desired. Okay, this has got to be one of my most fun gnomes that I've made. I love this little guy. I love that he has a bell that can ring, making it a fun little gift to make for anybody who's a bell collector. And it was very, very easy to make. I would absolutely love to know which gnome is your favorite. I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. Let me know down in the comments if you're planning on making any gnomes this year. And I hope you are all doing well, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.